Hey everybody, it's Chris here, and well, I'm live. I had to go live because, well, some of you who've been tuning in, I've been recording and then sending them and then uploading them to YouTube, but I can't upload them right now because about something about my cloud, and so I thought I bought more cloud, and they said something's wrong with it. So here it is. I maybe it was just a little push or a little kind of little nudge to go live finally, and I'm nervous because I've never done this, and I really don't know what to expect, right? So those of you who are new to my YouTube channel or who have been tuning in, so the objective, the plan, or the idea behind this YouTube channel was to reflect on one of my recovery books that I use to reflect on the daily, right? So this is daily reflections. I don't know if you can see it. It is AA approved literature, and this is what I wanted to use, sort of like a guide, right? Something not it's a guide to just help me stay on a topic, right? Some topic. So so I'm excited and I want to get started because I'm nervous more than anything. So hopefully you're watching. You can watch it. You're watching it. If not, you can watch it later. I would love any comments that you have, either while I'm live or later on during play, because I can see that your comments, and I love to have conversation with you about anything recovery. It's always, I mean, not always, but lately it has been a real big passion of mine to carry this message of hope to the still suffering alcoholic. And so part of my story was that I stayed out longer than I wanted to because there came a time when I wanted to stop drinking and I couldn't. So so I know that there's people out there. Maybe you're watching this. There's sometime right now. It's June 9th, 2022. I don't know if you'll ever get to watch this, but just know that there is help. There is help. I mean, you go into a room of recovery, 12-step recovery, anyone, and you see all kinds of people there. Okay, and so there's no. I mean, there's no. The only requirement is a desire to stop. A desire to stop drinking. A desire to stop using drugs, and a desire to stop. For slaw, desire, bottom line behaviors. That's what they call it. Okay, so if you're out there watching this, just know that I was a newcomer once too, and I had my first meeting signed, and they said you got to go 2 days a week or you're gonna go to jail. I mean, and I don't, and me, I'm that person that I hate jail. I don't like jail. I've been in there. It's cold. It's filthy. There's no privacy. The food is like horrible, and I'm just not okay with living my life in four confined walls and not being able to see the sun. I know for some others it's been a different experience, but for me it was, and I was there just long enough to know that I didn't want to go back anymore, that I don't want to go back anymore. So I did whatever they told me. They said, you gotta go twice a week. I said, okay, I'm gonna go twice a week. And what ended up happening was that I started going longer than twice a week. Man, I started going 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week because I just came from, I was just that person who lived a life of working to drink. I worked so I could get drunk at night. And when I got in trouble with the law and I had to do all these things, I lost my freedom. I couldn't drive. I couldn't drink. I had to take the bus everywhere. I didn't have a lot of money because I was paying a lot of money, court fines and all these other charges, right? So I didn't have. I was pretty tied up, and so I sometimes I wouldn't eat, and I worked to pay my probation, and I spent a lot of time on the bus. It was just kind of like one of those times where I lost my freedom. Even though I wasn't in jail, I still didn't have very much freedom. So um, I started going to these meetings, and they said, "Come on in, come on in." I'm grateful that my very first meeting was a Spanish speaking meeting, and even though I didn't really understand a lot what they said, now it's different. Now my home group is a Spanish speaking meeting. It's a long story, but it's a good one, and hopefully I'll get to tell it to you one day. So anyway, I went to my Spanish speaking meeting, and I didn't understand what they were saying except for like hand gestures, right? Come on, come in, have a seat. You want some coffee? ¿Quieres café? Un panecito, right? A sweet bread. And I was like, what? Free bread and coffee? I was like, that's awesome. I was like, man, this is what I need. I need I need to eat. So so they gave me a piece of bread, a donut, and they were day old, but I didn't care, right? Because I was partially starving, and then they gave me some coffee. So I knew that those days that I would go to my meetings, that I would at least have something to eat and a nice cup of coffee, and just give them $1. But one thing that I do remember is they told me that I never had to drink again if I didn't want to, and man, that stuck with me. I never have to drink again if I don't want to. I didn't know I had that. I didn't know that there was a choice. I didn't know that there was a life without drinking. I didn't know what recovery was about. I didn't know that that was even an option for me, right? Because just shortly before I ended up in a room of inside a room of Alcoholics Anonymous, I kind of just thrown my hands up and was like, you know what? I guess this is just the life I'm gonna live, right? Because I had already tried stopping drinking on my own. I would wake up with hangovers and think like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Oh my God, I want to stop. And then I'd be out by 6 or 7 at night. I'd be out there getting drunk, and it was just this cycle that I lived that I didn't want to live no more, but I was living it anyways. Like no matter what I did, I couldn't stop. So when they told me that I never had to drink again if I didn't want to, I was like, my God, what an idea, because that's what I've always wanted, right? What honestly, I didn't know that I didn't drink. I just knew that the life that I was living was really, really bad, and that I didn't want to live that life anymore. That's what I wanted more than anything, right? Some part of me was thinking it might be the drinking, but I was not totally convinced. So I stayed in the rooms just long enough, and I started to going to more meetings. And I remember just sitting there, just thinking like, ah, I could just take a break from the world and everything that's going out there. That I could for an hour, I don't have to worry about how I'm gonna get high or how I'm gonna get drunk, and then I could just sit here and just enjoy breakfast with my friends. Passionate. They're passionate about carrying the message, and I'm watching the video, and it seems like there's a little bit of lag on my part. I hope that's not true for you guys, but might have something to do with my connection. But I'm working on it. I'm new on this, so you'll get to see how this progresses. So that was just a little bit of my story since I went live for the first time. I wanted a bit of my beginnings, how pretty much it's real general. It's not. I didn't give you all the details. There's very many more details, but the longer that I do this, I'll get to share with you more details because that's what reading this is, and we use this for topics sometimes in a meeting, and it's about sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope just in order to stay sober, and it works. Once the idea has become a part of our thinking, we find that living life in 24-hour segments is an effective and satisfying to handle many other matters as well. And that's straight out of Living Sober, page 7. One day at a time. To a newcomer, this and other one liners of AA may seem ridiculous. The passwords of the AA fellowship can become lifelines in moments of stress. Each day can be like a rose unfurling according to the plan of a power greater than myself. My program should be planted in the right direction. Let me read that. My planting will require patience and my realizing that some flowers will be more perfect than others. Each stage of petals unfolding can bring wonder and delight if I do not interfere or let my expectations override my acceptance. And this brings serenity. So much to talk about there. I mean, my one day at a time has come in very many different forms. Um, First time I got sober, this I decided that I was going to stay sober for 1 year, right? And so I did. And after the year, I got my chip, and I remember going home, and my sister says, "You've been sober a year now. Have one with me." And I I remember thinking like, um, let me just. I go, let's drink. We'll drink tomorrow. And she's like, okay, but you better drink with me. And I was like, okay. And then tomorrow came, and then she said, um, let's let's uh let's drink tomorrow. Let's have one. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, no, let's tomorrow because I got I would make up stuff because I had really liked how my life was going so far without drinking. And I stayed sober for 2.5 years after that. And just for I mean, not that anybody's keeping record, but I never drank with my sister again. That was one of the things we never did. And she passed away 10 years ago, but I never drank with her again. Um, Knowing that what I know now, I think I might have maybe taken a chance right before she died, but man, sobriety is like I know today more than ever what alcohol does to me. And when she kept asking me, I was scared to take that drink. Because the truth is, I didn't like who I was when I drank. Right? It might have worked a few days. It might have worked a couple of weeks, maybe a month. But man, I really doubt it because once I started drinking, I was off. And for 7 years, I drank every day, and then introduced drugs, and I did a little bit of that. But I remember drinking, needing to drink every day for 7 years, and I got sloppy when I drank. I wasn't cool at not every because at any moment I want to say, oh, if you caught me before I had the first drink, you caught me right on time. But I'm thinking maybe if you caught me in my first drink, then you caught me at a perfect time because what I've learned is that I'm irritable, restless, and discontent till I can again feel the comfort and ease that comes with taking that first drink, right? So I was pissed off until I drank. So if I drank my first beer, that was the perfect timing to grab me if you wanted to talk to me about anything because once after the first beer, I needed the second beer, and then after the second beer, well, who knows who you're gonna get on the other side of that? Who knows how I was gonna show up? If I was gonna show up nice or rude or sloppy or tired or but towards the end, it was so bad that not very many people wanted to hang out with me. What I decided to do this time is like Chris, just do the steps, right? I decided I'm gonna do these steps, 100%. I'm gonna give it 120%, and if I think that's it, I'm gonna give it a little bit more, right? Kind of like a runner or who's doing a marathon. They feel tired, but they know that they have it in them to go just a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and before you know it, they finish the race. So that's kind of the attitude that I took this time around. And with that attitude being taken, what happened was, well, um, for me, I had to take it one day at a time because it was a lot on my plate. Like I really, really wanted to. I was in a really bad spot before I decided to get sober this time. It got pretty bad, and as we hang out together, I will definitely give you some more details. I love sharing with y'all what my life used to be like other life things, especially in moments of stress, right? So one day the whole one day at a time thing, it um I used to listen to that motto before I got to AA because one of my grandmother's favorite song was Un Día a la Vez, and it's called One Day at a Time, right? And she would play it a lot when my grandpa died. And I think it was to help her, to give her the strength to be okay, right? Because she'd been married to my grandpa for a long time, and now he was gone. So she was looking for the strength um, to live her life one day at a time, right? So for me in recovery, that's one day at a time. Help me to not drink for today, right? Help me to not pick up a drug today. God, help me to give me strength to do what it is that you want me to do for today, right? Because I can plan some things for tomorrow, but I can't physically be in tomorrow. So I can only be in today. So I asked God for help and directing me. What can I do for myself today? What can I do for you, Lord, today? What can I do for the suffering alcoholic today? What can I do for the alcoholic who's not suffering, who's living a badass freaking life? What can I do for them today? Right? So so that's how I use it towards my recovery. But while I'm in those when I'm in when I'm so my whole life is recovery. That's just the way it is. My everything that I do is recovery based. Sometimes I hang out with normies and people who are not in recovery, but for me in my head, I'm always thinking like, how can I be of useful to this person? Is because I want to live a good life, and I do live a good life. And not that I'm always watching everything and I'm like I'm micromanaging my own self. That's not It's not like that. It's I listen to my gut. I listen to the way I feel. I listen to my mind if it's telling me certain things. That's the kind of stuff that I listen to. But it doesn't happen all the time because now, like this says, it becomes a working part of the mind, right? The more that I practice it, the more that it becomes a working part of the mind. So, um, so it's talking about being planted in the right location, right? Some people will call that being planted in the soil, right? What it's asking me to do right here, I got to know that it needs food, water, sunshine, and protection, right? Protection from the bugs. So I need to make sure that I'm giving it to that all the time. And while I'm giving it to it, I must I must be patient with this plant, with which is myself, as it grows, because it's not going to grow overnight. It takes time. And I plant the seed way down there, and it takes time to make its way out, making sure I nourish it, making sure, and then boom, once it comes out, it's just like a stick and a little leaf probably. And then I'm growing into life. Now I'm doing things. Not everything comes out perfect. I've taken risks that not that I wish I didn't take, but I'm learning a lot from them because fear um, brought out some character defects in me, and it paralyzed me mentally and emotionally, therefore physically. So I'd come home and just pretty much sleep because I couldn't do anything else. But now that I'm grasping back, I'm praying, I'm getting back into my program, I'm getting back listening. That's why I'm doing these now because I 3 or 4 years ago, I was thinking, because everybody was online and there was a lot of Zoom, a lot of YouTube videos, and I was thinking, man, I would love to do a YouTube video and do it on the daily reflections. And then I would say, nah, I'm not the one, right? So then a couple of weeks ago, the nudge was there. It was like, today's a day. Today's the day you're gonna start. Today's the day. Today's the day. Today's the day. Today's the day. And all day was like, today's the day. I was like, as soon as I get home, I'm gonna do this video. Today's the day. Today's the day. And I was real busy that day, but it was like I was getting that nudge. Today's the day. Today's the day. And I was like, okay, okay, today's the day. And I looked everywhere for my daily reflections, and I found it. And I went to what I thought was a quiet spot, what over there in the downstairs, you know, in the common area. I went downstairs thinking that would be a quiet spot, and I was so tired that I probably didn't even make sense. But I knew that day I had to get started that day. So that that little seed that I planted is had came up of the soil on the 23rd of May. And my flowers on my videos, some of them are great, some of them are not. Some of them I look tired, some of them I look great. I did it in the car, and now I'm doing it at home because in the car I felt in, so I wanted some more freedom to walk around or stand up if I wanted to, or do my wonderful hand gestures. Uh, so I decided to do them at home, and then I kept saying I'm gonna, one day I'm gonna go live, and I'll let you know when. Well, today's the day, folks. Today I go live. So one day at a time, one moment at a time, one step at a time. Sometimes I get stuck in worry, and I have to remind myself, Chris, What can you do today to change your situation? And if there's nothing I can do, if I'm worried at midnight and there's nothing today, and say a little prayer and pass out, or go to sleep, or read a book, a positive book, whatever book you want. Just read a book that doesn't, don't watch the news. Like, I've learned to just kind of do little things that make a big difference in my sleep, in my lifestyle, and how I wake up, how I go to bed, how I approach things. And it's not easy because I forget. Like sometimes I'm thinking about, like, man, how am I gonna pay my rent? Man, I'm just, what is my check gonna look like? And I have direct deposit in one job, and for those of you who know, I'm on the 2 job season, so I do have 2 jobs right now. But not in my other job. So I don't know how much my other job is going to pay. So I'm over here wondering, man, am I going to make enough for my rent? Am I going to make enough for my car payment? Am I going to make enough to have fun, right? Because I like to have fun. Well, guess what, folks? I live in Austin, so there's a lot of things you can do for free that are fun. So, and one of them is hang out with my friends. So that's what I've been doing, just hanging out with my friends. And I'm so grateful for them because even though they say that they're not sure about this God thing, um, I see God through them, and I'm grateful that they're generous with me, right? So anyway, this one day at a time thing, do I use it? Yes. Do I use it 100%? No, because for me, I don't do very many things 100%. And this program does not even ask me to do very many things 100%. As a matter of fact, the only thing that it asks me to do 100% on a daily is to admit that I'm powerless over alcohol. I'm not powerless. I have power, right? I have power to do things. I'm powerless over alcohol. What does that mean? What does that say? That means that as soon as I put a drop of alcohol in my system, I'm going to need another drop. And once I put that second drop of alcohol in my system, that's it. It's over. I'm not a normal drinker. I'm not a social drinker. I'm not somebody who who can just have one. Because one leads to two and two leads to who knows where. And I don't want to live my life like that today. So what do? Well, I carry the message. That's the big one. I carry the message. I call my friends. Where y'all going? What y'all gonna do? Which meeting y'all gonna go to? And if they say we're staying home, I said okay. I go. I get on the internet, or I find my directory. Let me see where's there a meeting going on right now where I can go. I'll go there. I have a home group, but it's open 5 days a week. 2 days it's closed. So guess what? We gather together and we go visit another group. We do the unity, right? And the unity is big for me. Unity is big because I can't do this alone. I cannot stay sober alone. I need God. I need this program. I need my fellow AA members. I need my friends outside of work. I need my job. I need everything. I need my job. I need a shelter. I need food. I need that. If I don't, it's really hard for me to say it without getting it twisted. If I don't eat today, here, that's what I'm gonna say. If I don't eat today, I'm probably not gonna have a very good day. But sometimes I get it. I don't have it. Sometimes I don't have it to eat, right? But people show up, things show up. It's like, thank you, Jesus. I got a burger. Actually, I'm gonna go eat a burger after this because that's what I wanted. But I really wanted more than anything was to get to do a video with you guys because I feel like this is I'm not going to call it my 2 job season no more. I'm going to call it my YouTube season. Okay? My YouTube season, my carrying the message season, my hanging out with you season, my going live season, my elevation season, I don't want to say separation because I'm not separated from anything, right? I have everything that I have and that I want. My favorite season. There we go. Let's do that. My confidence season, my promotion season, my financial blessing season. That's the season that I'm in. I know that I'm in that season because I lacked nothing today. Nothing. Yes, my story was sad. I could tell you a bunch of sad stories. It used to be that way. And sometimes it was even that way in recovery. Because after I had my first stint in recovery, I did 2 years and like 9 months, and then I relapsed. And then I came back and I had 12 years of being in the program, not really working the steps, just being dry, living a life that I would not recommend. But today it's different. Today is different. I'm so grateful for um, having survived, because I know some people go out and they never come back in the rooms. They die, or they stay out there using drugs. Are no joke. Alcoholism, it bites. I wouldn't wish alcoholism on my worst enemy. But if you are, and if you are in recovery, or even if you're not and you need help, here I am. I will help you. I will help you do the steps. Just send me a message. I read them all the time. Nobody's tuned in. That's okay, because I was real nervous. But hopefully you'll find me on the replay, and if you don't, maybe you'll tune in some other time. I hope I can. I wish I could say I'm going to be live every day, but um, I felt better doing it the other way, because I didn't think I had the green light. But today's I didn't have a choice. So here I am, and I love you all. And this is one of my favorite things to do every day. I've realized that, a few times I've done it. It's been late and I've been tired, but man, I think about what I'm about to do to carry the message to those um, who are still suffering, or maybe just to those who just need to hear a little bit of hope, or or maybe you're bored and you just fell upon this video. Thank you for staying to the end. And all my subscribers, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Those who have sent me love messages, thank you so much. Um, it is not my desire to bring anybody pain. It is my desire to bring hope. So I pray that I did that for you today. If I didn't, put in the comments. Let me know. You know, I love to chat with you guys. I love to communicate back and forth. And that's what recovery has also taught me. It's taught me how to listen and not be so quick with my answers. And I know that not everybody needs my advice. God, I'm not the person I used to be. If you're out there feeling down and out, thinking like, oh man, things will never get better, I have so many problems, I'll never solve them, I would tell you that if you find a program that works for you, it doesn't have to be A, it could be NACA, it could be SLA, it could be church. Church is good too. I go to church. I love go to church. I have a pastor. Man, I adore my pastor. Man, she's really spoken a lot of life into me. Maybe the church you had some time ago wasn't working for you. That's okay. Pick another one. There's so many out there. If you're and if you're saying, "Well, I'm scared, Chris, because they might throw me out," I get it. I've been thrown out of many churches. I've been asked to leave. We don't want your kind here, they say. There's a church for you over there. The enemy's in the house. Things like that. Now, I'm so grateful that I finally found a church. I found two churches actually, one in San Antonio and one in Atlanta. But my pastor, she's the bomb, and I'm so glad that both God and I never gave up on each other, because my life would be a lot different. And he never gave up on me, and when I knew it was time to get back into his presence, that's I got in, and then my life has never been the same. I uh, I have stories and stories to tell you, so I hope that you will keep tuning in. But for now, I must say bye. And I don't have to say bye. I could be here on for another hour talking to you, but um, I think I'm gonna go have a burger now. And I love you all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being patient with me. This is my first live, so if you're watching it and I was watching this, no, I'm grateful you're here, and I'm watching it whenever. And I look forward to hanging out with you some more. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful, most beautiful, wonderful rest of your day, one day at a time. Um, whatever you do, don't drink or drug tonight, and your life will be awesome. Bye bye.